In this blog, I'm going to have a look at the rehearsal techniques that I employed whilst working through Panis Angelicus. It's a bit of an extension on the one that was done earlier on, where we looked at the arranging techniques, and there's a slight difference in that when arranging the work, we wanted to try and make it sit on the instrument as well as it could, and then we've rehearsed it and just employed a few techniques to work out, to get the best result and to cement all the performance aspect of it in together. Now there's a slight difference in a piece that's arranged well and one that's playable through rehearsal as opposed to one that maybe isn't playable through rehearsal, and that's part of the evaluation process that we've done for this project, is looked at the works and we've altered some of the arrangements around to make them sit on the instrument well. Now the instruments, this one's pitched in E flat, small instrument, so the key of F works quite well. It transposes across to D major, and where it sits, or where this arrangement sits on it, it sits between the bottom E concert pitch and the top D. So it's within about an octave that we play on this on Panis Angelicus. Starts on an A natural, which is quite a tricky note to start on because it's quite high. And to pitch that off, we just got to have a really good sense of the pitch and a really good idea in our head of the sound of that note before we play it. The way that a tuba works, that we went over in other blogs, is that you buzz into the mouthpiece, and this is then amplified by the instrument and it comes out. So this note is what we'll play through as our starting note. And to achieve that and achieve the solid starting note, the way that we've done it was started by playing it down the octave and sort of doing an arpeggio up just to check. So during the first rehearsal I was looking at just making sure we're playing that note accurately. So down an octave it sounds like this. Now we go up to the arpeggio of A major. Another way we can do it is just by going from the bottom octave up. So scales and arpeggios form a massive part of daily work that we do when rehearsing, because they come across and it just helps cement the notes that we need to play. So now that we've got the starting note and we've worked that out, the first part of rehearsal that I done was just played through it and played it as it's written. And then to work it, to do a little bit more work, it's quite hard playing up an upper register. So just to start working on the phrasing, I played it down an octave. And it's quite common to do this with high sections of works. It's an established way of rehearsing. So play it down, we'll just play through it. Bars repeated. So once we've got one bar, we'll hopefully have the second bar. The next one's the one that jumps a little bit higher, or jumps up to the D. So we're going from F to D, which F, G, A, B, C, D is a sixth. And we can play, or what we done was, I just played between those two notes to make sure that when I play the 2 beats rest, I'm going to come in on the right note, the top D. Rehearsing that down an octave, we'll play the whole thing. And that's the first section. So having rehearsed that, getting the feeling of the piece that we want, I listened to a few recordings of people singing it and tried to imagine the lyrics. So the opening lyrics would be Panis Angelicus, da, and the phrase, and using that all the way through. And then the next phrase, trying to sing it lyrically. And that's what sometimes playing a wind instrument's about, is singing as lyrically as possible, using the instrument. So once we'd established that, we played it up the octave and got it accurate. And a key part here is this scale, so it's coming down from a D, down to the C, down to the B flat, and it was just practicing that little scale. And then up an octave. One of the things I tell a lot of my pupils when teaching and when we're working through certain elements of their playing is that music's a combination of elements. You've got your rhythm, you've got the tune on the melody, the notes that form that. And when you're picking up a piece, sometimes it's worthwhile just getting that harmonic change. And particularly here where it's quite high, it's worthwhile just spending that time really establishing each degree of the scale as we play down it. And that's just what we're going to do a couple of times. So having a listen. So that little jump's a wee bit awkward. And the reason why those intervals are a little bit more awkward, I don't think we can play any of them on the same valve, so sometimes you can in that register, is because as we go up the instrument, up the notes, they become closer together. So we start off with the bottom B flat, and then it jumps. Well, we start off with the bottom E flat actually. So we go E flat, up a octave, and then it jumps a fifth up to the B flat, and then from there it would jump up to the next E flat, and then it goes up to the G, then the B flat, and then you can get the C open as well. So let's just have a listen to that sort of harmonic register that the instrument has. And by pinching the lips a little bit more, we can get the top F as well, above that E. Just thinking it is. Yeah, top A flat. So it becomes tighter, so we've got to be aware of that as we go up, and as we're playing in this register, the intervals are a little bit tighter together than they are down lower. And that's why it's hard to get some of the notes out there. It's hard to get some of these intervals. So having worked down the scale, we could then rehearse it all with just the rhythm. Just to get the tongue working behind, just getting that smooth feeling. And we put the two together. That last note was a little bit off. We'll just put that down to rehearsing it. So let's put the two phrases together now and hear that sound. So the point that we're moving up to in the start of this, these 8 bars, is that final C. Then it drops back down to the beginning. And that change in tonality there needs to come out. Move down to B flat. Instead of B flats, we've got B naturals. Because it leads into the next phrase, which becomes a little bit harmonically different. Ba-ram, be-ram, dee-da-da-da-da-dee. Let's play through this slowly. So to rehearse this, take it down an octave. And do it up an octave. that returns back to the main key at the beginning, and main harmonic progression at the beginning when we get to that C at the end. So in that little phrase, it's worthwhile picking out all the notes that are quite essential. So picking out all the notes that are quite essential. And sometimes that's a way of rehearsing, and that's something we've done whilst rehearsing this, was just to go and move maybe one note at a time to make sure all these harmonies are correct. And the same for the next bit, just to do it bar by bar. And we can use alternate valves here, so I experimented a little bit with these. So you can do it open, do it 1 and 2, and you can also do it in the third valve. I think in this case, the third valve actually is probably a better slide combination to use. So on the instrument we've got 3 slides, 1, 2, 3, and each one's a different length. The first and the second make the same note as the third one, but because we tune each slide individually, the chances of these two being as in tune as when you use the one on its own is a little bit slimmer. So by using the third slide there, it's a little bit longer, so it just gives it a little bit of a flatter tone to each note. So for this higher register stuff here, it works quite well. So this one's quite important as well here. Da da dee dum ba dum. To make sure we always get the same harmony in there, same accidentals and the same notes. So we rehearse most of the second phrase in a similar manner, again thinking lyrical qualities, thinking of someone singing it. And the only difference is in bar 49 where we have this. And those bars, what I'd like to do is just push them on a little bit. We have the second voice coming in, so we'll be playing ba da 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 da, and they'll be coming in on that note. So we've got to make our voice come through just a little bit more, and sort of from fugue-like where we'll hit it as we come in, let people know we're coming in there, and then drag it back a little bit. So these are all general rehearsal techniques and general playing more than the arranging elements that I've had to incorporate into Panis Angelicus. And then it all works. The music's always more than what you write down, and it's quite the actual scoring of this doesn't have a lot of expression, and it doesn't have a lot of slurs over the top of notes, doesn't have a lot of phrase markings, and it's just been kept as the original is for the player to then interpret. So that sort of musicality is the kind of thing you've got to put in the rehearsals, as well as looking at technically getting all the notes together. And the way to do that is just by doing what I've done and having a look at some recordings of it, different people interpreting it, and working out your own interpretation of the work. So that's all for today's blog, or this blog anyway, and we'll be back shortly with some more on the works that we're doing at the moment.